Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. For this video we are going to be playing the final day, day 25 of Battle for the Borderlands. There are only two warbands who are left alive. We've got the Swordmasters of Hoeth going up against the Savage Orcs. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at these warbands and take a look at the board. For our first warband now, we have the Swordmasters of Hoeth using the blue dice today. They are led here by the Blade Lord Meldas the Seeker. Now Meldas has the Dashing Cloak of Heroic Renown, which gives him the 5+ regeneration special rule. Now in addition to that, he's joined by two other Dogs of War. One has the Regimental Standard, and the other one has Drog's Decapitator, which is the two-handed weapon which gives the Killing Blow special rule. We are going to try to set him up against that wonderful Stone Troll on the other side. Joining them now, the rest of the group here, we have 4 Swordmasters of Hoeth, and they are armed with great weapons, and they have heavy armor. So there you go, 100 points of the Swordmasters of Hoeth. For our second warband now, we have the Savage Orcs using the green dice today. They are led here by Kratak, a Savage Orc. His stats are pretty good now after so many games winning and getting so many upgrades. He is joined here now by 3 Dogs of War. The first one we gave a Savage Orc the Kragus' Pick, which gives him the armor-piercing special rule, which will be good against the Swordmasters of Hoeth and their heavy armor. We've got the Regimental Standard, and we've got an Arrow Boy with the Last Chance, which allows him an automatic wound if he hits double the distance of his normal shooting range. That should come in handy. In addition to them, we have the Stone Troll here, our regular old slugger. We've got another Savage Orc, one more Arrow Boy, and one more Orc Boy. So there you go, 100 points of the Savage Orcs. And here is our battlefield for today, a standard 4-foot by 4-foot battle set up with the cobblestone and ruined city feel. What we're going to say today is that we have now come to the capital city of the Borderlands. The capital city was originally built around this blue magical orb, but it has long since been destroyed and abandoned, with abandoned ruined buildings all over. And now we have our final 2 warbands who have entered into the old capital to battle it out to see who can make claim to the Borderlands. Well, let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to deploy first. Savage Orcs with the green and the Swordmasters with the blue. Here we go. And it will be the Savage Orcs deploying first. And here's the deployment now for the Savage Orcs. In the center now, we just have a line running straight up this street, the old streets of the capital. And we have our leader here next to our Stone Troll. We've got our Orc Boy there, and we've got our banner next to them and a couple of Savage Orcs there. Up here, giving them some cover, we have our first Arrow Boy, and he is ready to take some shots if it's needed. And over here, perched up in this spot right here with his window, we've got our other Arrow Boy, and he has the Last Chance kit with him, so he is going to be able to take some long shots at any of those Swordmasters. So there you go, that's the deployment for the Orcs. Deploying second now is going to be our Swordmasters, and they have decided to hold themselves over to this little corner. They've bunched up together, and they've used this building now to block them from the line of sight of both of those Arrow Boys. So hopefully they will get first turn and they can keep on moving and stay in cover. And you can see here how bunching up in this position, they are now out of the line of sight of both of those Arrow Boys. So let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to take the first turn. Swordmasters deployed second, so on a roll of 1 to 5, they get to decide who goes first. And they got a 5, so the Swordmasters will take the first turn. No charges to declare, but we're going to go ahead and move all these guys and march them up here and keep them up right in this building area so they can still have cover from the archers. And there's their final positions right there. Let's see, we have 3 guys right here, 2 guys around the corner. Our battle standard is right inside there, and if you can see way in there, we have Meldas the Seeker. He has a 14-inch march. So we have all taken some nice positions inside that building for cover. End of the turn for the Swordmasters. Let's move on to turn 1 for the Savage Orcs. No charges to declare, so we're going to go ahead and just do some remaining moves. We're not so keen about trying to get into this castle quite yet, this fortress, so we're going to go ahead and just shift this battle line around here and face off towards the enemy. And before we do that, we'll need to take a stupidity test here for our stone troll. And he is not stupid, no problem. Alright, we have this group up here now, set to go. This might be stupid, but I'm going to send these guys this direction. So here we go, we've got their 8-inch march. We'll bring them both right there. So there we go, splitting our troops up. Maybe not the smartest thing, but we're going to have to make the High Elves make some decisions here. We'll be taking them on 2 flanks. Shooting phase now, let's go ahead and check line of sight for this guy right here. And amazingly, we do have a line of sight. You can see in that dark window, we can see the leader of the Swordmasters. So we can go ahead and take a shot there, but it's going to be long range and hard cover. Hitting on a 7, no. And with that, we come to the end of the Savage Orc turn. So let's run over here now and turn over to High Elf turn 2. Charges to declare. Let's go ahead and do this. We got to take a chance here. We're going to have these guys charge over here on the Savage Orcs. This guy will declare a charge on him, and he will hold. And he will declare a charge on him, and he will hold. We need to roll a 7 and an 8. First one here, 7. Got it with a 9. And the second one, we need an 8. Got it with an 11. So there we go, completing those charges. Here's how they look close up. We'll have 2 combats then when we get to the combat phase. But let's go ahead and do remaining moves. Okay, we'll play it a little strategic here, a little defensive. This die right here marks the average charge range for that troll. So we're going to hope that he failed a stupidity test or something, or if he tries to charge, he will fail. And we're going to line up our guys here in this roadway right here and form a new line. So there we go, their final positions. We brought our leader Meldas out here now, put the BSB behind these guys for some hard cover. And there we go, got them lined up outside of the average charge range of the troll. End of the movement phase, so let's run over here now to the other side and take care of these 2 combats right here. Swordmasters here are using great weapons, but they have the always strikes first rule, which means we look at initiative. They have initiative 5, greater than the initiative of the Savage Orcs, so these guys will begin. Let's start with this combat right here. Okay, we're looking for 3s and 3s. 3s to hit. There's 1 hit and a 3 to wound. Got it. 6 plus ward for war paint. No, so this guy goes down along with his Kragus' pick. Second combat here, once again, 3s and 3s. No double 1s. Okay, coming back, we're frenzy, so we have 2 attacks. We're going to be hitting on a 4. Got 2 hits and wounding on a 3 because we have an extra strength due to our choppas. So wounding on 3s, double 1s. And that now brings us to the end of the combat and the end of the Swordmasters of Hoeth turn 2. Let's move on to Orcs and Goblins turn 2. Charges to declare. We are going to bide our time and not try to make those charges. Those are super long charges. So let's just move up a little bit to within 12 inches. And of course, before doing that, let's roll a stupidity test for our stone troll. A 10, no, but we have the banner. Re-rolling. 10, no! This is amazing. This is exactly what the Swordmasters were hoping for. He's going to stumble ahead a total of 3 inches. So he's going to come up, boom, 3 inches. No more action for him this turn. All right, so we're going to leave him out there, throw him under the bus. The rest of us are just going to move up like this within the average charge range, just outside of 12 inches, the average charge range. We'll stop right there. And that is how that is going to look now at the end of the movement phase. Let's go ahead and take some shots. And let's start out here and have this Arab boy. We will have him take a shot over here at the... let's have him take a shot at the Swordmaster furthest out to the right. Long range, hitting on a 5. No. Second, we're going to have this guy right here take a shot down at that Swordmaster that's not in combat to try and help out his buddy. And we're going to go ahead and use our last chance, which means that he is now in short range. Okay, here we go. Hitting on a 4, 5, or 6, an automatic wound if we hit, which means we will kill that Swordmaster. Here we go. This is a huge roll. 4, 5, or 6. No, he misses it. Okay, end of the shooting phase. Let's run over here to this combat. Swordmaster starting out with 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. No, he misses both. Coming back, 2 attacks, still frenzy, hitting on 4s. Both hit, wounding on 3s. Got it, double 6s. Correction, it would have been wounding now on 4s, but that counts just as well. Okay, we got to make 2 5+ saves for our heavy armor here. 5+ saves, boom, he gets them both with double 5s. This is crazy stuff. That is the end now of the Savage Orc turn. So let's run over here now and head over to High Elf turn 3. So High Elf turn 3. Swordmasters, let's see what you can do. Charges to declare, yes. Let's start out here with this charge. This guy will not fail, so we will slide him in. Pretty rough combat there for that Savage Orc. And let's slide over here now and do some charges over here. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send in these 3 guys here, this guy here especially with Drog's Decapitator, into the Stone Troll. So we will charge, 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 and he has to hold. Okay, we're going to need to show 4s here for all 3 of them. First one here, got it. Second one, gets it with a 6, and the Drog's Decapitator guy gets it with a 9. And there's how those successful charges look. Let's go ahead now and do some remaining moves for these guys. Again, we're going to use the benefit of their greater movement, and we're going to march them right over here. We'll leave our banner outside of their average charge range, but still within range here to give them the benefit. Meldas the Seeker, he is super speedy fast, so we'll put him right here. He's got a movement of 7, so he is well within striking range of anything there, and we will leave him right there. Actually, we'll slide him just a little bit over in case he wants to charge the banner. And there we go. No shooting, so let's go ahead and take care of this combat. First things first, let's take a fear test for each one of these 3 guys because this big stone troll causes fear. So first guy, no problem, double 1s. Second, that's a 9, but we can re-roll with our banner, and we get it with a 6. And our third one, a 10, re-roll with a banner, 7, so he is fine. None of them fear. Okay, Swordmaster, start us out here with 6 attacks total. We're going to be hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s. Here we go. And there are 3 hits, wounding on 3s. Here we go. And we got 2. Troll now with a 4+ ward and double 1s. So he doesn't get it. Drops down 2 wounds to 1. 3 attacks now coming back, hitting on 4s. And there's 2 wounding on 2s. And no, he only got 1. So one of these guys is going to go down. Let's figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll randomize them since we didn't specify. Yes, the guy with Drog's Decapitator. Swordmasters cause 2 wounds. He causes 1, so the Swordmasters win the combat. But he is stupid and stubborn, so he's not going to move. Immune to psychology. So that will be the end of the combat here. And let's run over now to our second combat, which is over here on the side of this building. Swordmaster starting out, 3s and 3s. There are 4 hits. Good start. Wounding on 3s. Oh, no, only 1, but that should be enough. Let's go ahead and see if we get a War Paint 6-up ward. No, so this guy is done. All right, that's the end of the combat phase, so let's go ahead now and move on to Savage Orc turn 3, charges to declare. Okay, the High Elves have played this brilliantly because this guy is now pretty much blocking these 2 from charging. They've really sheltered themselves well. That's a long charge, so we're not going to try that. This guy, however, can just clip the edge there. So we will declare a charge here, and he has to hold because he's in combat. Let's roll it out. Yes, so he will come crashing in like so. And that is the only charge we can make. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and try something a little different. We're going to try and get out of the charge range of these guys. Let's go ahead and take our orc boy and sacrifice him and put him up here to take on these 2. And we'll send our leader over this direction so he can charge in the rear of those Swordmasters. And here's how this is going to look now. Good positioning. You see that this orc boy is close enough to the rock that they will not be able to join that combat, so they will get hung up on him. Neither of them can go into combat without first facing him. This guy over here is out of their forward arc, or not their forward arc, but their line of sight. They're unable to charge him, but now he is able to charge the rear, and he's also a good distance from them. We'll see what they decide to do. Last remaining move, our guy up here on his perch is not doing anything valuable, so we're going to go ahead and march him up his 8 inches. We'll put him right there. That'll bring him into shooting range. Let's go ahead now and go on to shooting. Let's take this guy. We're going to take one shot right up here onto the leader. Long range. Hitting on a 5. Got it. Wounding on a 5. Got it as well. 5+ armor. And no, and a 5+ ward. No, so he's going to take a wound, dropping him down to 1. That's it for shooting. Let's head over now to this combat. Let's start with this Swordmaster here, directing 2 attacks into the stone troll, hitting on 3s. There's 2 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds. 4+ ward. He gets 1, misses 1, but that is enough to kill him. That troll is done. Panic check for this guy now. 8 with a rerollable. Got it. Last Swordmaster coming in here with 2 attacks on the banner. 3s and 3s. There's 1, wounding on a 3. No. All right, coming back now. We're going to be hitting on a 4. No. High Elves win that combat now by 1. So that means this guy's leadership is dropped down to a 7 with a reroll. And he gets it with a 5. Before I forget, we should go back and correct one thing. He actually has the deflect shots 6+ ward, which would allow him to save that wound from the arrow. Let's roll that out. Nope, so he will take the wound anyway. End of the combat now. That brings us to the end of the Savage Orc turn. Let's run over here and flip it over to High Elf turn 4. Charges to declare. Let's go ahead and have both of these guys charge into him. We'll take the bait. He will hold, and there's no chance we can miss, so let's just slide these guys in like that, and there will be that combat. Second, let's attempt a charge here from this guy over onto him. He will hold. This guy, the second guy, unfortunately, has his line of sight blocked by the building, so he cannot make a charge. Let's go ahead and roll that one out. Needing to show a 9 here. Here we go. No, that's a 4. So failed charge, moving ahead 2 inches. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and march this guy out here to his 10-inch march. And that's where we'll leave him, and we have no other remaining moves. And one other correction, I forgot to move this guy an inch away when he finished that combat with the troll, which means that he's actually not in combat. It looked like it was because he was base to base. So we're going to actually have him charge into this guy as well. And that is where he will end up. All right, let's go ahead and take these 2 combats, 1 here and 1 here. All right, Swordmasters start. We've got 4 attacks from Meldas and 2 from the other. Not much hope for this little guy. We're going to need 3s and 3s. So here we go, hitting with all of them, wounding on 3s. And there are 3 wounds. So he was not able to stop them. We'll pull him out. They are going to overrun. Banner running a total of 4. And our Meldas the Seeker going 9 inches. Yeah, they're their final positions. Our banner there's Meldas there heading up towards the other orcs. Let's go ahead and run to this combat now. We've got 4 attacks coming from the Swordmasters, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and there are 2 wounds, no save there either. And he is immune to psychology because he's frenzy, which makes me think actually we should have probably charged him last turn because he does have frenzy. We may have been out of charge range, so we'll just leave him here though and assume now he's going to have to charge here because he is within range. But that brings us to the end now of the High Elf turn. Let's flip over now to turn 4 for the Savage Orcs. And with all of those kills in the last combats, the Savage Orcs are now below their breaking point, so they have a leadership of 8 from their leader. And we got to roll this off to see if they will stay. Here is for the game. 6, no problem, so they are going to continue on. Let's go ahead and take Orc turn 4. Charges, let's go ahead and charge our leader here into this guy. He's probably not going to miss, not with a 6, so he comes crashing in, and he is in the front. That will be our only combat we have. Let's go ahead and take some shots. Okay, let's have each of these guys shoot off at our leader here. We're going to be hitting on 4 short range, 2 hits, wounding on 5s, and we get 1 wound there. Now Meldas has a 5+ armor. No. He has a 5+ regeneration. Got it. Down to this combat now. We've got the Blade Lord, or excuse me, the Swordmaster starting. We're hitting on 3s. There are 2. Wounding on 3s. Boom. And he's got a 6+ ward for the war paint. No. So that's 2 wounds. Our leader goes down. End of the Savage Orc turn. It is looking pretty bad for the Savage Orcs. Let's flip over here to game turn 5. Charges to declare for the High Elves. All right, all out charges. Let's go here. Charging here. He'll hold. Here. Hold. Here. Stand and shoot. Stand and shoot penalty. We're hitting on 5s. Yes. Wounding on 5s. No. And let's go here. Charge. Hold. Here. Hold. And here. Stand and shoot. Again, hitting on a 5. There's a 6. Wounding on a 4. No. So let's go ahead and roll these out. We'll start right here. No problem. He makes it in. This guy over here with a 6. Let's measure that out. Yes, and an 11 inches will be just enough. So he will also come sliding in. Let's take our leader here. With a 3 plus his 7. Yeah, he can't miss. He is Mr. Super Movement. So there we go. And over here we need an 8. He gets it with an 8. This guy needs to roll a 9. No, he'll go ahead 4. And this guy needs a 10. He'll go ahead 3. And that is how that will look. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 combats here and up here. This one should be quick now. We got 8 attacks here. Hitting on 3s. All of them hit. Wounding on 3s. And all but 2. So 6 of them go through. A bit of overkill. This guy is gone. Here now, final combat for the game. We got 2 attacks. Swordmasters, 3s, 2, and wounding on 3s. No! Coming back now on 4s. No. With that combat, we come to the end of the High Elf turn 4. Let's go ahead and go to the Orc turn 4 and roll on their route test. Here we go now, leadership 7 for the game. Here's the route test. And it's an 11. That is a fitting end. The last Savage Orc, he will run off the table, flee off the table, which means that the Swordmasters of Hoeth have claimed victory and have claimed the Borderlands. Well, I'll just give you a quick run over here of how things are standing now. We've got this one combat here with that lowly error boy, and he's about to get hit by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more guys. So the Swordmasters of Hoeth clearly ran over the Savage Orcs in this game. They were fortunate that they killed that stone troll rather quickly. That helped them quite a bit. That whole failed stupidity over there was a big deal. And that really, I think, gave them the advantage to push on through. So there you go. The Swordmasters of Hoeth are the winners of the entire Battle for the Borderlands tournament. Congratulations, Swordmasters. You deserve to claim this land. Here now is a final look at the chart. And as you can see, with this victory, the Swordmasters of Hoeth have now taken the tournament in the Battle for the Borderlands and have made claim to these lands. I want to thank all of you who have followed along on this series each and every day, who have watched and who have commented. Thank you for visiting us here at Grey Army Gaming and visiting www.greyarmygaming.com. And from us here, thank you for joining us at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.